Good evening, teacher.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, teacher.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, uh, okay, so welcome to our encounter number 3. Uh, I'm going to share the agenda with you, and well, before that, I would like to ask you, how are you today? How was your week?
Yeah, it's so hard.
Hard?
Yeah,
A lot of work?
working. Yeah, working and studying everything. I go to bed at
Oh my God.
midnight or 1 in the morning.
Well,
Of
My eyes
course.
are is tired,
Yeah,
and computer and everything. My God.
yeah, I can guess that.
One of my classmates told me to communicate you that he can attend class tonight because he's working. Fernando Riveros.
Fernando Riveros? Okay.
Yeah.
Sí, mami,
Okay,
teníamos pues.
okay, Belisario, thank you very much. Okay, well, this is the agenda that we have for today. First of all, we will have a feedback on your activity, the virtual learning environment architecture form. We will talk a little bit about that. Then, well, the topic that we are going to cover today is technology, a must for the future. Is like the role technology plays nowadays in education, like general things. And then we will talk about the activity that we have for next week, that is the video creation. And finally, we will have some time for questions or comments, okay? Okay, Juan David, that's great. Well, okay, so to start, well, I think that you received your feedback today on your virtual learning architecture form. Well, so first of all, I would like to talk about the strengths because, well, we had many. First of all, you proposed interesting tools to include in your virtual learning environments. You also plan dynamic, interesting, very motivating activities. The web tools that you use to create the virtual learning environment, or the ones that you are planning to use in your virtual learning environments, are really nice. There are some that I didn't know, but well, I was checking them, and they are really interesting. And most of you use language in a right way. In relation to the aspects to improve, well, some of you didn't include much literature to support your ideas. Most of you did it in the part of the rationale, where you supported the selection of the web tools that you were going to use to design your virtual learning environment, but some of you forgot to support literature or to use literature to support the other parts of the virtual learning environment. It is also important to provide citation because some of you included authors and references, but at the end of the activity you didn't mention the sources. Maybe you mentioned the authors, but you didn't mention the books or articles where you took that information from. So that is important. If you cite an author in the document, it's important to give the source, the complete source at the end of the activity. And it was also important to include or to relate your teaching context with each part of the, or with each module that the virtual learning environment form had. Because, well, you described the population in the part where you were supposed to do it, but you didn't talk about that in the other parts, and it's important to keep that in mind in all of the process, the population you are going to work with. So that is the pieces of advice that I can give you in relation to this activity. Okay? Well, I don't know if you have questions or something to say about this activity.
Teacher, I have a question.
Yeah.
Well, it was the first activity we did, but I know at the end we do have to make the actual website
Yeah.
reflecting our VLE architecture. I wonder if we decide to change any part of the architecture, maybe I don't know, a topic or the tool we want to work with or the links, will we be able to do that at the end?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that it was something that I told you in the previous encounters, that I know that you can change your mind about anything. Well, you can change the activities, you can change the tool because maybe you find a better one. So it is possible. I know that during the process, at the end, there are many things that you are going to change because, well, you are going to have more ideas during the different encounters and during the different classes we are going to have. And maybe you want to include something or a resource that we use in the next encounters. So yeah, there's no problem. I know that it could change. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Something else about this activity? No. Okay. Well, very good. Okay. Okay. Very good. Well. Well, there is something that I wanted to ask, well, particularly to one of the students. There is one student that didn't, I don't know, that didn't have the activity. I would like that person to clarify me if it is because maybe the name was not included in the activity, or maybe because that person couldn't present it on time. So please let me know about that. Okay. Well, this is what we are going to talk about today, that is technology, a must for the future. And well, these are like the topics that we are going to cover tonight. So first of all, we will talk about the importance of technology. Technology, like the base of the process of teaching, well, where we include technology in our classes. Benefits of technology, enhance student achievement, how to enhance student achievement, the development of higher order skills, and finally some support instructional strategies that could be useful for your instruction when using technology. Okay? Well, so here we have like some things or some ideas to reflect upon. And well, I would like a person to help me to read this, please. How important is technology?
How important is technology? The top 10 in-demand jobs in 2010 did not exist in 2004. We are currently preparing our students for jobs that don't exist, with technologies that haven't been invented yet, in order to solve problems that we don't even know are problems yet.
Okay, thank you very much. Right. So these are like some challenges that we have to face nowadays. And well, I would like you to think about them a little bit and tell me some examples, maybe about the jobs that we have nowadays and didn't exist maybe 10 or 20 years before. I would like also you to think about the ways we can prepare our students for jobs that don't exist yet, and also the technologies that haven't been invented yet, and how are they going to be able to solve problems that we don't even know are problems yet. So how can we as teachers help our students to face the challenges they have, and we have to? Okay, so take 1 minute to think about this and tell me your ideas, please. Yes. Okay, Luis, go ahead, please.
Well, of those jobs that didn't exist, well, before than now they do. I would say that computer developers, because in a few years ago there wasn't much demand of them, but now they're they are in, I don't know how to say it, like in a rise demanding. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
And well, years ago, they didn't know they were going to study linguistics because many computer engineers or many computer program developers are now studying linguistics because of the artificial intelligence. They are trying now to process or receive a simple language in many different forms, and the students don't know what is going to be happening 2, 3, 5 years from now on. So I think that the way they're being prepared, the way they're being trained is just by getting the knowledge, the basis of many stuff like programming, computer languages, little basis of a little concept of linguistics, and from then, that understanding, they start to create the things they may need in the future, and that's the idea I have in this moment.
Okay, Luis, thank you very much. Yes, and that job is like it has a lot of demand today, and people who manage those languages are well paid. So yeah, you're right. That is a job that we didn't have, like, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago. I'm not sure, but I can guess that. Okay, thank you very much, Luis. Someone else? Oh my God.
Yeah, I think the jobs that didn't exist long time ago, like were programming, as someone mentioned, but especially working on social networks, because now they are the boom, like Facebook, Twitter, everything. So there are more people working on those social networks, Google, jobs like that, and many teachers teaching online. Now it's pretty common. There are more and more because of the tools. For example, oh my God, I forget. The weekend teachers can teach online because of some tools like video conference tools, some things like that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, those are the ones that, well, okay, Luis is saying here, community managers that, well, many famous people, artists, and politicians have to help them, or to help them post their messages, their tweets, all of that. And well, we can think that if they have a community manager, they are supposed to have well elaborated tweets with a good spelling, with good grammar, and despite of that, we find people that post and lately we have that one from the mayor, Bogota's mayor. Do you remember that tweet? Well, and we have those problems, and they are supposed to have people or community managers that guide their posts. Okay. Juan David says that. Yeah, tell me.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay, Fernando. Yeah.
Thanks. The word that is coming to my mind is global life, global economy. Now companies, from one day to another, they fly to another country. People are changing their lives, living in other places, looking for new jobs, for a new way of life, for new opportunities. So that's the word that comes to my mind: global world, global life, global economy. And more than a joke, I'm thinking about that because it demands for our society to have an open mind, study languages, and get prepared, get ready, get to know the new technology. So they go ahead with that global economy. That's what comes to my mind thinking about this.
Yeah, and that is one of the challenges we have, because our students could be thinking of like traveling, moving around the world. So we need to prepare them for that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Fernando. Okay, Belisario, tell me.
Jobs that have been created are about security system guys, like because like by the time some more powerful virus have been created, or some people try to steal money or information, so security is so important now. And something important to highlight is that internet allows us to create more jobs, because now the connection is faster, more powerful, so we can see videos faster or download and some things like that.
Yeah, you're right. Very good, Belisario. Yeah, that's something that we didn't have like I don't know how many years, but long time ago. Right.
Or even police officers who are just for online security or online problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, when we have like cyberbullying and those cases. Yeah.
I have another
that
I read a few days ago. I read about forensic linguist. Those people, what they do is they analyze information and the patterns of the people who write in the internet. For example, they try to check how certain people approach another in order to determine if they're potential rapers or kidnappers or something. So they try to check the messages, and using that information in the messages, they try to establish where is the person from, where is the person connected, and that stuff. But by the use of linguistics, so how the person writes in messages.
Yeah.
Also, another profession that maybe it's not that it didn't exist, but it has evolved a lot, and it's us as English teachers. English teachers in the past, most of them didn't. For them, it wasn't a concern of to communicate. They didn't ultimate purpose wasn't to communicate. They just wanted to study a language, to teach the language, but not in a communicative way. And also they set apart the sociolinguistics. So I think that now our job is very different from the job of an English teacher 15 or 20 years ago. Even more, and to even up the score, we have to inspire our students or fight against those thoughts they come with. They come frustrated. They say, I'm not good for English, but it's not that they're not good for English. It's just that they haven't been good enough to fill in the gaps or to complete a grammar exercise. So our profession has changed a lot.
Yeah, you're right. And that's why the English teaching methods have evolved as well. So some years ago we had like the grammar translation method, and nowadays the one that we are supposed to use is the communicative one. And well, our profession has evolved and methods, techniques have evolved as well. Yeah, you're right. Thank you very much. Well, Juan David says the online advertisement is new and there is a lot of people working on that. YouTubers, bloggers, yeah, you're right. Online moderators and teachers online, of course, yeah. And Ana Maria says that, well, the way we are having this class right now, well, and this methodology didn't exist some years ago. You were supposed to attend a university in a face-to-face class, and well, now we have this different methodology. Okay, I wanted to share with you a situation or an experience that I had with my nephew. My nephew is 10 years old, and well, some days ago we were in a family meeting, and we asked him what he wanted to be or what profession he wanted to have when he were older, and he mentioned two jobs. The first one was a gamer, because he said that, well, it was the best job in the world because he was playing video games and he was paid for that, and that it was the best job for him. And he said that if he didn't have that possibility, he would like to be a YouTuber. Those were his two options. And I'm sure that if it had happened 10 years ago or 20 years ago, he would have said maybe a doctor, a teacher, a lawyer, but well, those are the professions or the jobs that we have nowadays. Fernando mentions influencers. Yeah, that's right. Okay, very good. Okay, so I would like to ask you, how can we prepare our students for those jobs that don't exist yet?
I don't understand that question.
Yeah.
because nowadays, yeah, today I'm working with technology, and it really is part of my life because I am focused on engineering, computing, engineering, and all those series nowadays. But I don't know. I don't understand the question really.
Yeah. Okay.
The second one.
Okay. I'm sorry. Who's talking? Because your name is Usuario W7.
Felix. Sorry.
Okay. Felix.
My name is Felix. I forgot to change this.
Okay.
I start this section.
Yeah, that's a difficult question because we don't know those jobs, and we are supposed to prepare our students to have those jobs in the future. Yeah, Belisario. Okay. Well, do you have any idea, Belisario?
But many people think that the most important nowadays is to prepare for the future jobs that don't exist yet. It could be technology, like learning a lot of about technologies and languages.
Yeah. Yeah, those are like. Yeah.
Yep.
There is.
Can I add something?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I would say that the most important aspect of teaching. I mean, of preparing our students, our children, our future is prepare them for being good human beings. I mean, technology is important, yes, but if we do not want machines in our future, we are still human beings, I think. So we better prepare them to be good human beings, and then teach them, and with the new technologies, teach them how to use them, teach them the benefits of them, and sometimes take the tablet out, you know, take the computer out and go out to the streets to play with children, with other or kids, with other people. I mean, you know, the human aspect for me, I think, is the most important thing to prepare a future society, society. So that's what I think. That's my point of view.
Yeah, you're right. Okay.
Well, I took like a minute to check my notes because I was asked the same question during this week in a training. Yeah. And they mentioned something. They mentioned a book that is called Five Minds for the Future from Howard Gardner, and he says in the book, he states that we as teachers or a society, we should working into making the students have 5 different types of minds. They say he mentioned something like the disciplinary mind, which master is in sciences, mathematics, and all those areas of knowledge, right? Also, he mentioned something about a synthesizing mind that has the ability to connect those different disciplines and integrate it into something that could be useful for the moment. Because now we don't work in isolated stuff, but we try to connect the areas that we didn't understand before. For example, now us as teachers, we study a little bit about linguistics, we study a little bit about technology, because we need to understand the computer systems to include technology in our classrooms. Also, he mentioned something about the creating mind, a mind that has the ability to understand new problems, to create questions that haven't been asked yet, right? And as my friend Felix just said, there is one mind in the book that they mentioned, and it's the respectful mind, a mind that cares for the human being, that is able to be sympathetic, to understand other people, right? Yeah. And also, he mentioned the last mind he mentions is the ethical mind, a mind which priority or which purpose is to fulfill the responsibilities as a person in a society. I mean, to comply with the rules, to do the job as the job needs to be done, not just in a mediocre way. So that's something I really wanted to add. The name of the book is Five Minds for the Future from Howard Gardner.
Okay. Belisario, you wanted to say something?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wanted to say something about what Fernando just mentioned. Like the most important for him was like being human, or being being a human, like a great behavior in the society. But now education is not like that. Some schools, like bilingual schools, just focus on learning what the student have to learn, and they need to prepare for the ICFES to get the best ICFES in Colombia, and to say that school is the best. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, standardized tests.
Yeah, and they don't care about if they, even sometimes they are rude with teachers. I heard about that in bilingual schools here in Bucaramanga, because I live in Bucaramanga, like La Quinta del Puente. Have you heard about that school?
No. Can you repeat the name, please?
La Quinta del Puente.
No, I haven't heard about it. I don't know about your classmates.
Or New Cambridge.
Yeah.
That they get the best ICFES in Colombia. So those schools say like they are the best because they get the best XFIS, the highest schoolwork, but they don't care about the students' behavior or anything like that. So many people think that that's the most important, and I think Fernando is right, but this is not practice nowadays. Nowadays, is the important is the person who knows the most.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You are all right because, well, we need to keep the balance because there are some referring to what Luis said before about the minds. Well, students need to have like some disciplines. They need to have some knowledge about subjects, but we also need to develop some interpersonal skills that they are losing nowadays because, well, because of technology, because nowadays we don't interact with each other. We are like isolated in front of a screen, well, a tablet, a laptop, a computer, or a cell phone, whatever, and they are losing that. We are losing that. We don't interact. Students don't know how to interact with others. They don't know how to greet someone. That's why you see students that, well, they don't greet. They don't say thank you. They don't say please because they don't know how to do that because they don't interact with other people. They are at home, well, watching what they want to watch in the different tools they have. They don't go to the park. They don't do different activities. They don't practice sports, and that's something really important. We need to have that balance. Technology is important. Subjects are important, but we have to develop interpersonal skills in our students because that is something they are losing, and if they lose that, well, I don't know what's going to happen with the society because we cannot stop being humans and become machines. And well, you all are right about what you said before. And well, I know that Sebastian wanted to say something, so go ahead, Sebastian, please.
Thank you, teacher. Yeah, well, basically, I just wanted to review with you the soft skills that I mentioned in the chat. They are communication, self-motivation, leadership, responsibility, teamwork, problem solving, decisiveness, ability to work under pressure, and time management. Also, flexibility, negotiation, and conflict resolution. If our students have those soft skills, I think they will succeed in a world regardless of the technology they will have in the future. We can predict the technology they are going to use, but if we teach them just to use the technology that they are exposed to today, it's like giving them a telegraph for them to learn how to communicate or chat online with a telegraph. It's something like that.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, that's well, going back to the question, I think that would be the way we can prepare our students, developing those skills in them and keeping the balance between the disciplinary part and those personal skills they need to have. So, well, you're right. And we know that technology plays an important role nowadays, and we cannot deny that because that is the world we are living in right now, and we have to prepare them to face that world. But they need other skills as well, and the ones that you mentioned are completely right. They need to know how to work in teams. They need to solve problems. They need to have that skill, well, and all of the ones that you have mentioned before. So you are completely right. Okay. So thank you very much for your ideas.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, today I work with many kids, and they use a lot of technologies. I think that all in life becomes in a technology. Those take that place, and we are living maybe a starter of that style of life. We are just taking part of this, and this gonna take really lot of time to maybe become in a situation as a normal situation that people can use technology and make, and they are able to maybe make the difference between some spaces in life to use them and control and acquire really a discipline in life, I think.
Yes, you're right. And we need to be trained, because that is a reality that we have to face. We have to be able to provide students like help or knowledge regarding technology, because it is the world they are living in. And that's why we are taking subjects like this one, yeah, like Seminario de Profundización, because that is a must. And that's why today's presentation is called a must. Technology, a must for the future. Well, and for the present as well. Okay, Wilton is saying something here. That is, I think it is difficult to know how we could prepare students. Being good people is a good thing, but maybe we should study and get into technological uses to be able to help them. But we should also help them see the meaning of life. I think it has been lost, yeah. And change our way of thinking, because I think it is the hardest thing to learn to think like them, to understand the future a bit. Sometimes it is easier to think about the past than in the future, and we as teachers must be prepared, yeah. And I think that summarizes what we have said before. Okay, Wilton, thank you very much. Well, I'm going to continue with the next slide. Well, technology here to stay. I would like someone to help me read this, please.
Okay, students find technology no more intimidating than using a VCR or a toaster. Students watch much television than their parents did at the same age. Students are active participants, not just viewers or listeners. Students for digital world.
Okay. Right. Well, I think that is related to what we said before. And well, yeah, that is something different. And well, times have changed a lot. So parents are completely different to their children. And well, this example, I think that is a little bit old-fashioned, because I know that the students maybe don't know what a VCR was. So well, we can talk about a DVD or something like that, because well, this is a very old example. But yeah, those are things that we have to take into account. That students watch much television than their parents did at the same age. That they are very active, and they are supposed to be active participants, and we need to help them to be active, not just viewers or listeners, like maybe we were when we were children, because we were in a classroom just listening to the teacher and seeing everything he or she was showing us, and well, we were not very active. Nowadays, students have that possibility to be very active and prepare students for participation in a technological world. Okay, so those are things that we have to keep in mind. Here we have like some actions that we have to carry out in our classes, and they are related to technology. So we have ability to gather information, and those are skills that we need to develop in our students. Ability to gather information, to keep records, to create proposals, to construct knowledge, to perform simulations to develop skills. We can use distance learning as well, and global collaboration for lifelong learning and work. What do you think about this? How could you develop these skills in the students? Or if you want to refer to just one, okay, you can do it.
Well, ability to gather into, well, I think is that use different resources and maybe create some strategies that the students are able to get that those abilities I'm looking for. For example, with my students, I used to to take some maybe some strategies or maybe methods that they become easy, more maybe easier than they use daily, or maybe there is no exactly maybe a kind of learning, but is maybe a way that they are able to use by themselves. For example, songs and pictures or flashcards. Also, I use a lot the computer. For me, it's a basic tool in the classroom, and internet as well. I gather information by reading some text that maybe is maybe become interesting for them. And the most important is they are happy doing these activities because uh, many almost all the time they are maybe uh, feeling bored about some activities. They don't say that, but I notice, or some teacher notice that at school they are starting nowadays.
Okay.
That's it. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Felix, right?
Felix, yeah.
Okay, Felix. Thank you very much.
You too. Thank you.
Okay, more ideas about this? Okay, let's continue with the next slide because we are running out of time. Well, we have like 4 aspects that are important if we want to enhance the student achievement. Well, we don't have an order because they are like, all of them are important. So we have motivation and engagement. Instruction is supposed to be student-centered. We need to implement world-class education and equip students for life. And that is related to what we were saying before, that is, those are the skills we need to develop in our students. Okay, Ana Maria is giving an example here, the use of flashcards. Okay, but that is great that the students made the flashcards. Yeah, that is something really good that we can ask students to design the material or to help us design the material we are going to use in classes. Yeah, that's right, very good. Okay. We also have like higher order skills, and they are related to technology. We have like the basic ones in the bottom, and we have the highest ones in the top. So we have first enables development of critical thinking skills, apply content knowledge in a variety of ways, augment skills to convert data to information and transform information into knowledge, apply problem-solving processes and apply technology tools to develop solutions, technology tools for constructing artifacts and electronic information and communication resources, valuable thinking tools among technology application, and we need to use like software to support curriculum, right? So these are like higher order, we could say that thinking skills, but they are related to technology and they are related to thinking skills and to Bloom's taxonomy, right? Well, do you want to say something about this, or can we continue? Okay. Okay. Well, this is something that is really important, and it is useful not only in e-learning but also in face-to-face classes. And those are like the instructional strategies. Have you heard about them before?
Yeah, me.
Yeah, what do you know about them?
Well, those categories are classified in order that some student skills, abilities, or in a way to the student are able to identify some knowledge, knowledge, yeah, and focus on some specific skills to develop.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, those strategies are proposed by Robert Marzano. He is a well-known author and very expert in relation to teaching English. And he says, and he has worked with other authors, but he says that if we implement all of these 9 strategies, it is going to be sure that the students are going to learn what we are teaching them. Yeah. But he says that it's necessary to apply all of them, not some of them, all of them. Yeah. And we have them. So they are identifying similarities and differences, summarizing and note-taking, reinforcing effort and providing recognition, homework and practice, the use of non-linguistic representations, the use of cooperative learning, setting goals and providing feedback, generating and testing hypotheses, and the use of cues, questions, and advice organizers. According to him, and well, not only according to him, because he has proved through research that the students can get the knowledge we are teaching them or the abilities we are teaching them if we implement these 9 instructional strategies. And well, I think that maybe in the next encounter we are going to talk in detail about them. And if we want and if we implement those strategies, we have some things that we need to do, and are the ones that you have in the screen. The first one is to focus on the strategies, focus in the available technology, focus on the unit, build lessons on a solid foundation of effective strategies, and add appropriate technologies and apply strategies to ensure high quality instruction. So I would like you to take these strategies into account and to include them in your instruction. Yeah, try to include these 9 strategies. Well, they are not supposed to be included in a single lesson, but in the whole process. But don't leave any of these strategies away. Include all of them. Okay? Well.
Okay. Sure.
Yeah.
Are you going to share that presentation with us?
Yeah, it is. I always share the presentations with you. In the virtual classroom, you have a folder that is called Encounters Presentations, and you are going to find all of the presentations we use in the encounters there. I think that this is already posted in that folder.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you.
I have to clarify that this is not my presentation. This is based on another presentation that I will show you the reference at the end, okay? Well, that is what I wanted to share with you today, right? Finally, I would like to talk about the activity that we have for next week, that is the video creation. These are the instructions that you have in the study guide. So this is another funny activity, and you have the possibility to explore different resources. Well, as usual, you are going to find a file, a PDF file in the virtual classroom where you have the resources to study in order to present this assignment. So, okay, this is something I would like you please to do that is read the assessment rubric. I think that some of you are not reading the rubric, so you don't know what is expected from you in the different activities. So please, before working on your tasks, read the assessment rubric so you know what are the criteria you are going to be assessed. Okay, so please do that. You have to choose one of the websites available to create a video. Here you have some recommendations, but if you want to use another one, you can do it. That is Powtoon, Moovly, GoAnimates, Tapoflix, and if you want to use another one, you can do it. The idea is to create a video to introduce in a creative way the topic that you selected for your virtual learning environment. So please take into account that this video, you need to include this video in your final virtual learning environment. So it has to be related to the topic you are going to develop in that environment, right? The video must last a minimum of 3 minutes and a maximum of 5. And you can include the video in the section that you want. If you want to include it in the introduction of your virtual learning environment or in the practice part or like you can choose the part of the virtual learning environment you want to include the video. You can use animated characters and images, but you must record your own voices. This is a requirement, right? Include your voices, please. Finally, you have to share the video in the available forum in the virtual classroom and watch your classmates' products. Every time we have a forum, this is something important to comment on your classmate videos and make sure your contributions support collaborative learning. Answer to your classmates' comment on your work in the forum, because sometimes the students comment on your work and you don't...
Sorry, I have a question.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me.
I have a question.
Yeah.
This activity gonna be take place in the forum, or is a part of the avatar? We have to do an avatar also.
No.
And this is another activity that's gonna be take place in the forum. Okay, this must be there in the forum in order to share with classmates.
Okay.
Yes, I'm all right. I'm all right.
Not exactly. Well, the avatar is the activity that we have for this week. Yeah, the video is a different activity and is the one that we have for next week. This week, we have a forum to share your avatars, and next week you will have a different forum to post your videos. So they are different activities. The avatar is for this week, the video is for the next week.
Okay, perfect. Good. I got it. Thank you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Sebastian, do you want to say something?
No, teacher. I did. I just have a question about the avatar forum, because I tried to share my avatar this morning, but it was not open. Is it open now?
Yeah, Fernando, I answered.
Great, excellent.
To your question, I'm sorry about that. I don't know what happened. Maybe accidentally I clicked on an option that was to block the forum, but as soon as you told me that it was not available, I fixed that and it is available now. I'm sorry about that.
Excellent. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay. Do you have more questions?
The videos is in groups, right?
Yeah, it is in groups.
And everyone have to participate in the video, like.
Yeah, you are supposed. Well, yeah, we are supposed to have all of your voices in the video.
Okay, so it's the same group that we have work on first activity and second the same group.
Yeah, if you want continue working with the same group, you can do it. Yeah, there's no problem.
Okay, perfect. Good. Nice.
Yeah. Okay. More questions? Okay. Okay, guys. So thank you very much for attending the session. I'm in the process of checking your reflections. So I think by the weekend you will have your grades. And well, if you have questions or something that you want to say, remember that you can write to me, use the forums, the chat, my email by the last option, but you can use it. And okay, that's it. So thank you very much for attending the session and see you next week. Have a great week. See you next Wednesday. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Bye, teacher. Thank you.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, you're
Good
welcome.
night.
Good night.